What's up, guys? Jake with TN Tactical comes with another special red dot video review. Today, I've got a good one for you. Today, we are looking at the Cyelee. Did you know it's pronounced Cyelee? I've been saying Cyelee this whole time, but turns out it's Cyelee. Today, we're looking at the Cyelee Cat EDG. This is actually an RMSC pattern red dot, a little smaller size red dot, if you will. This is my micro dagger. Look how big that thing sits on here real quick. Look at that thing. Look at that. You see that thing? That's like substantially a big boy dot for such a small gun. But this is their fully enclosed RMSC red dot. Cyelee was kind enough to send this out to me for a testing evaluation. They know though, and you know as well if you've been watching these videos, that anytime we get free stuff, we tend to beat the piss out of it, and that's definitely not going to be any different today. We do this because we think it's important to us and probably to you at home to know is stuff like this budget-friendly stuff is worth your time, but more importantly, your hard-earned money. So we're going to go over all the specs and features of this particular dot. We're going to zero it properly, and then we're going to beat the piss out of it to see if it holds that zero or survives for that matter. Let's see how she does. Alright, so going over all the specs and features of this particular dot, this is an RMSC pattern dot, meaning it's going to fit your smaller guns, your Glock 43Xs, your micro daggers, even your P365s if you still trust SIG. Comes in roughly about $279.99, but I do have a discount code, TN Tactical, will actually save you guys 10% off when you purchase. Big thank you to Cyelee for hooking us up with that code to save y'all some money. For what you're getting here, I think it's going to be worth it. This is supposed to be their duty grade RMSC dot, meaning it's supposed to take pretty much anything and still be just fine. It does feature a 3 MOA red dot that's fully enclosed here. You'll see there's actually two panes of glass. So you've got the front one, obviously, that the red dot reflects off of, but you've actually also got another pane of glass back here. If y'all can kind of see the reflection there, that actually helps keep rain and mud and snow and blood and shit from getting inside your actual emitter there and blocking it. Very nice, I do like that. Now with that, it does use a CR1620 battery, and it's supposed to give you about 50,000 hours of battery life. Of course, I'm going to assume it's probably on one of the lower or mid settings, probably not the highest brightness setting. I imagine on the higher brightness settings, you'll get less battery life. That being said though, it does have the shake awake technology, meaning you set this thing down and after a few minutes of not being disturbed, it will actually turn off, saving your sweet, sweet battery life. And speaking of battery life, it does have 10 different brightness settings, 8 of which are going to be for daylight use, 2 of which are going to be for nighttime use. You'll see that you've got your MOA adjustments here. On this side here, there's your windage and there's your elevation right there. One MOA, nice little soft clicky noises. You'll see here that it also has these little notches. That's actually not to protect the elevation windage. It's actually supposed to serve as a makeshift rear sight in case this dot, standing as proudly as it is, were to ever block your rear sight. Now I don't have that issue here. Obviously you can see I can still use my rear sight and my front sight just fine because they are freaking huge. However, if for some reason you have normal height sights, which is totally understandable, then you may have your sights blocked. That's why they put that there for you. But let me show you what we got. All right, so as you guys can see, my shots are just kind of all over the place. You'll see I start on the right target here. I got most of my shots in the A-zone, but really they started out all over, down to the left. I eventually started switching over to this other target here, and again, going for the A-zone. Again, shots just freaking all over the place. I think I finally managed to get it zeroed in the top half of the A-zone there. Is it the gun's fault or is it my fault? Probably mine, because once I actually, I guess, got serious with it, I was able to show these steel targets and the steel silhouette in the middle there without any issue. Not sure what's going on. I did adjust it because it does look like on that steel silhouette, most of the shots are going down to the left slightly. So I did make those adjustments, and the last shots you see there, sort of in the center of that steel silhouette, are my last shots. Now again, this dot is rated to be drop proof from 6 feet high onto concrete using 35 ounces. That's roughly going to be about the weight of this handgun plus the loaded magazine. There's not been too many dots that we found on the channel that have survived all of the torture that we put through, but I'm very excited to see if this can be one of those few that actually makes the cut. Behold, the tree of damnation. This is where red dots come to get hammered, like a hammer hitting a nail. Let's see if she, fuck it, let's see if she does it. As you can see, we have some tree juice on the very top up here, right? Where we're hitting it against that tree bark. But other than that, I mean, this thing does not have a scratch on it. Okay, and yes, we are, of course, unloading and clearing all that good stuff. That's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. Pretty freaking impressive. All right, let's see if it held zero. So I had one or two flyers where I kind of pulled down a little bit too much. I'll let you see what we got here. If you look closely, I was aiming at that steel silhouette in the middle there. And you can see all my targets are still in the A zone right in the middle, except for a couple of flyers. So we did not lose zero from the tree of damnation. Behold, the new and improved brick of damnation. This is where red dots come to live or die. We are unloaded here, of course. For this next test, we are going to take the gun, put a fully loaded magazine into it while not letting there be a round in the chamber. And then we're going to drop it from chest high, approximately 5.5 to 6 feet, upside down, so that the red dot will fall directly onto the concrete. In 3, 2, 1. Check this out. As you can see, we've got lots of damage here all over the aluminum housing. The front glass is not cracked at all. Everything's still good to go there. Okay. And while there's a lot of damage done to the aluminum housing, the glass both in the front and the back are still good to go. There's my red dot there. Literally like no damage to the red dot itself at all. Now I find that very, very impressive, the fact that not even the back panel has had any kind of cracks or anything. However, that's only going to matter as long as it holds zero. So let's check that real quick here. Oops. I accidentally hit the clip. My bad. So as you see there, yeah, we got the target and then it slipped off the clip, or I shot the clip, one or the other. Can't really tell you for sure. But as you can see there, they are all essentially where I was aiming at, the top half of the A zone. Of course, that A zone shifted a little bit, so now it looks like it's off, but it did not lose zero. I just kind of suck at shooting sometimes. Now there is one other test I want to do. It's a test I did with the Wolf EDG as well, and I haven't really done it with any other red dots because it didn't really make sense to. And that is going to be actually to put a little bit of cold water on this little back pane of glass here. Now granted, this is after drop testing, but the reason why we're doing this is because last time we did this with the Wolf EDG and we saw there was like a little condensation that happened, a little frosty spot on the glass after cold water had been touching it. And that frosted spot was not condensation from the outside, but from the inside of the optic. So I'm going to do this test again in good faith, because I am curious to see if this has the same problem. I've got cold ice water in here, okay? And I'm gonna try to get all this in one shot for you. So I'm gonna take some water here. A little bit of cold water, okay? I'm letting it sit there for a moment. Okay, I can already see it's getting a little frosty in there. Maybe y'all can see it too. Do you see it? So that is on the inside. Okay. Now watch how fast it goes away though. I want to make sure you guys understand this isn't exactly a deal breaker, because look, it's already disappearing. See that? Well, it's kind of fuzzy, kind of blurry because the camera not wanting to cooperate, but I mean, it's already gone. That's just a water spot right there. But the actual condensation on the inside is already gone. So not the biggest deal, at least in my opinion. I did talk to Cyelee about it, Cyelee, excuse me, and they did say that it shouldn't happen. Supposedly it shouldn't happen, that it's supposed to be purged with either nitrogen or something to keep that from occurring. Unfortunately, that's what happened here. However, like I said, it's already gone. There's a slight water spot there, if I can operate my fingers right. Actually, that's not even a water spot. That's actually on the other side here, on the far side. I just want to be up front, let you guys know. Are you going to have that problem? Probably not, unless you're like working in a freezer and then you come and step outside, or vice versa, I guess, if you're working in a desert and then you go and step inside a freaking freezer. Sure, maybe, because again, my water is like literally ice water. Are you going to have this problem? Probably not. Okay, so my thoughts on the Cyelee Cat EDG. Despite being dropped 10 times directly on the concrete from chest high, it still held 0. I was still able to aim all my shots in the A zone and not lose 0. I think that's extremely impressive. And I honestly have to say it's probably one of the best performing dots than we've ever had on the channel. If you're looking for a good, durable, duty grade little micro RMSC dot like this, I think it's good. I like it. I really like it. Special thanks again for Cyelee for sending this out to us. Would not be possible without them. Remember, TN Tactical for 10% off. We really, really appreciate it. And I think you'll be happy. Guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you think about the Cyelee? Gotta get used to that. The Cyelee Cat EDG. Love to hear from you. We will see you next time.